So welcome back. This time for this little video, what we're gonna do is we're going to transfer our thumbnail to our paper that we're doing our drawing on, and then we're gonna start gesturing in our composition for our drawing. So what I've done is I've clipped my paper onto my drawing board, and here are the 4 thumbnails that I ended up with, and I am choosing this one. This is the one that I'm gonna go with. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a crosshairs on my composition to divide it up into quarters. And you can see like my line's not perfectly straight. It's a little, up on this side. That's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it because this is just a sort of roadmap to get me going. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put a crosshairs on my big paper, just like I did on my thumbnails. I don't want to forget to mention that I'm using the Vine charcoal for this. The Vine charcoal is that really light, where I can wipe it away pretty much with my hand. So that's what I'm going to be using to put my crosshairs on my paper and also to gesture in my composition. I'm sitting down in front of my still life. I'm over on the right-hand side, and the reason I'm on the right-hand side is because I am right-handed. If you are left-handed, you actually want to be sitting on the left-hand side of your still life. Perhaps you would set your lamp up on the right-hand side so that it wouldn't be in your way, but you always want to sit on the side of the hand that you draw with. Otherwise, you're having to cross over your body and draw like this and look over here. So it's much easier if you're on the side of the hand that you use. Okay, so what I can do now, since I have put a crosshairs on my thumbnail, what that tells me is, oh, the bird is a little to the left of center. This bottle here takes up about 1/3 of the composition, almost to the center line, and that this little bottle is over, kind of in the left half of the left-hand side. So by putting this crosshairs, it sort of is an easy way to allow me to scale up onto my paper. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this as a guide, and I'm gonna go, okay, I'm gonna come a little bit down in this top quadrant. That's where my bottle starts. I'll put a little tick mark, like where the top of this jar would be. And then, okay, I know that the jar, this line of the jar is a little bit inset from my center line. So I'll put a little tick mark there just to let me know. And then what? And then let me go ahead and put my little bird up in here. Just do a few little marks. Then I'm gonna put my bottle here. If I pull a horizontal line, I can tell that the bottom of this small bottle is about halfway through this bottle. So I can go, okay, the bottom of that bottle is probably about here. Again, just making a little tick mark. Now, is this accurate? Probably not, but I need a place to start. Whenever you start a drawing, you're gonna start light, loose, and it's gonna be very inaccurate. And as you build the drawing, as the drawing grows, it becomes more refined and more accurate. You have to think of a drawing as a living thing. It has a start, a middle, and an end. It's growing. So in this very beginning, I don't care if things are not perfect. It would be crazy if they were perfect. So, okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to start by gesturing in. Oh, let me look at my thumbnail just to remind me of how much Okay, I have about half of that. Gesture that in. All right, this comes down over here. Okay, put that down. Oh, look, in my thumbnail, it's so zoomed in that it's much bigger. So I'm going to wipe this back with my hand and I'm going to make an adjustment. Maybe it's like from there. Sometimes it's helpful for me to look back with my viewfinder to figure it out. Okay, so this is actually so big in this frame that it comes all the way down here. Okay, that gives me a better idea. This is going to be much wider. Okay, and then I'm going to have my bird. My bird is looking at this little jar here. Gesture him in. Okay, and then I'm going to come over to my little bottle. Gesture that in. And then this cap goes off the page. I'm putting in my line for that fabric, the diagonal for that. And up here, I've got my little seed pod, which I'm just going to make a circle at the moment, and the little swoop of the stem. All right, the last thing I'm going to do is put the stick into the jar. All right, so here's what I've drawn so far. I've gestured things in. I have my bottle gestured in. Here is my bird, just very loose. My big jar, the stick coming out, and the little seed pod. And then here's the silver cap that belonged to this jar that is way over here. And I've gestured in my whole composition. The thing I want you to realize is I didn't spend a lot of time on each thing. None of these things is very accurate. None of these things is perfect. It doesn't matter. I've got a place to start. I've mapped in the whole page. I didn't stay on one object for a really long time. I moved from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and got the whole page mapped in. As I said before, a drawing grows, so my next steps will be to start to build out these forms, make them more accurate. They might shift around if I realize that the placement isn't right, but I've mapped it in and I have a place to start. All right, so that's it for this video. We did the crosshairs, which we can erase, right, once we've got things mapped in. And I've mapped in my composition. So that's step one. Our drawing has started. From here on, it's just going to be working on this drawing and building it up. All right, thanks a lot.